have filled that out already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, then anytime, as long as you've signed out, as long as you filled out, and just for everybody else, when you come on campus, eventually you'll all be on campus, I hope, because this is not an online, these programs are not online programs. I'm doubting that next semester, any of this, I don't know this for sure, but I doubt that anything will be offered online, because these are not online programs. These are programs that are designed to have people in attendance. So for the people who are in media comm, you will be doing photography and video for 2 more semesters. And even in the 3rd semester, even though there's not a formal video and photography course, there is one course, I think it's called Portfolio Development, where you do a lot of photo and video. So you basically be doing photo and video for the next 3 semesters after this one, if you're in media comm. If you're in another program, if you're in ad graph or PR or any of those, each program is different. I teach specifically in the media comm program, so I don't know what the other programs, how much photography and video they offer. But anyway, when you're on campus, if you go under Getting Started, so you can see that I'm on your course here, and under Getting Started, you'll see that there is, I think there is, might be under Media Equipment Distribution Centers Info. Yeah, here it is. So if you go under Getting Started, Media Equipment Distribution Centers Info, and this depends on whether or not when you come on campus, if you're taking out equipment from the Cage in the North Campus or from Hams in the Lakeshore Campus, because each of the campuses has their own equipment that students can sign out. So if you're at the North Campus, it's the Cage, but this document right here that says FMCA EAA 2022, you must download that, fill it out, then send it to photobooking.center@humber.ca, and then you can sign equipment out. If you haven't filled this out and emailed it in, they will not allow you to sign equipment out. Okay, you can show them a student card, you can show them your registration. They still will not allow you to sign equipment out. This form has to be filled out. So again, it's under Getting Started, Media Equipment Distribution Centers Info, FMCA EAA. EAA stands for Equipment Access Agreement. And it spells out it's basically what it does is it says that you assume responsibility for the equipment you sign out. So if you break it, you got to pay to have it fixed or pay to replace it. Okay, and that's basically what it is. Okay, so BPLAB, I hope that answers your question, and I hope that gives everybody else some information if they need that information. Okay.
Thank you, Bruce.
You're welcome. So what's on the agenda for today? Lots. The morning class, we did not get everything finished. Only got as far as actually introduced audio a bit. I have a hunch we'll get a little bit further in here because I can't do the same demos online as I can do in live, because when I class, I can get students to be the people in the demos and whatnot. So online we'll probably get a little bit further, but we almost certainly won't get all of this done, but we'll get as much of it done as we can. So first thing on the agenda is review of assignment 1, doc and stills. That was your photo essay. You all should have your marks for that. In general, it was well done. A lot of marks were lost for what I consider unnecessary reasons. And the biggest reason was that people just didn't follow the instructions. Several people lost a lot of marks because they didn't submit the photographs that they used in the slideshow as individual photo files, as JPEGs. It says this very clearly. We went over it in class as well. And several people lost a huge whack of marks because they didn't submit them. I can't mark the photography when it's only part of the slideshow. I can't access the metadata. I don't know what the camera settings were. I can't even really get a handle on if the images are sized correctly. Many times when they're imported into a slideshow, they get resized by the slideshow. So that's why it's so important that you submit the images that you used. So I shouldn't say lots of people, but several people lost marks for that. And then other things, well, actually, I've got a list of them, so I'm going to go over them. And I'm also, so I do two things when I mark your assignments. One is I open a Word doc, and I'm just going to open it right now. Let's see if I can find it here. I open a Word doc when I'm marking your assignments, and anytime there's a problem that occurs repeatedly, I make a note of it. So here's the doc for this assignment. Just going to bring it in front here. Hopefully y'all can see it. Make it a little bit bigger so that we can see it a bit clearer. There we go. Now I can see it. So these are things that occurred repeatedly when I was marking the doc and stills. If I came across it 2, 3, 4 times, then I would make a note of it. First one is very, very important, and this doesn't matter if you're in media comm, advertising, or PR, or whatever. This is to do with the captions and the alt text. It's very, very important that captions and alt text, number one, be done. And there was a few people who didn't hand in a Word doc that had captions or alt text for the images. And it'd be very important that they be done correctly. Now, quite often what I got, if the captions or alt text were not done correctly, was too much editorial comment in the captions. The purpose of the captions and the alt text is so that somebody who has visual impairment or is blind can use the assistive technology that they have to read out what the image looks like. So, for example, if it's somebody standing beside a lake on a sunny day, the caption and the alt text should read something like, a young man or a young woman standing beside a lake with a mountain in the background and a clear sky on a sunny day. It should just be descriptive of what the image looks like. Sometimes I got some very elaborate captions where the person said, I shot this image at f4, shutter speed of 1/160, and an ISO of 400. I found the image to be challenging to shoot because the sun was very bright and I couldn't get my camera settings right. And the person in the image was not being very cooperative and they always wanted to sit down, etc. So I would get this long description about the process of shooting the image. That's not what captions should be about. Captions are simply a visual description. And as long as you're in any program at Humber, this is across all programs, it's across the college, you have to provide for any work you do, captions and or alt text for any images. Okay, it's a requirement of the college, so it must be treated seriously. And as long as you go through any program, if you don't provide that information, you will lose marks. Okay, and as you move further ahead in your program, when you get into your second year, your third year, your fourth year, if it's a degree program, the penalties will get heavier and heavier. So it's very important that you have a clear understanding of what you're expected to do with captions and alt text. Does anybody not understand that? Please ask me now. Now is the time. Everybody's clear on it. You're sure. Okay, so next point, I already mentioned, instructions are not followed. Keep in mind that in the fields that we're in, whether it's MediaCom or advertising or PR or whatever, most of the work we do, that you will do and that I do, is to a set of instructions. I'm hired by a client who will say, will you come and take pictures of our awards night or our product launch for our new product or our whatever. My specialty as a photographer and videographer is event photography and video. So that's what I most often get. But my person who hires me, my client or my employer, as the case may be, they will always give me instructions. They'll say, we want this for our social media. We want you to cover our event so we can use it for in-house promotions or whatever it happens to be. There's all kinds. It could be part of an advertising campaign. It could be whatever. But it's always to a set of instructions. So